Hey, it's your professional sarcastic man and seeker of attention, Ozchris, here with reviews on Amazing Spider-Man number 8, Spider-Girls number 1, and Spider-Gwen Ghost Spider number 1. So we'll start off with the better of the three, ASM number 8. So, first off, I got the Marvel Battle Lines variant. I've been loving these variants. Although, I found with some of them it's misleading because a lot of the characters that appear don't appear in the book. So Green Goblin doesn't appear in this, but it's still a good looking cover. So the main premise of this issue is that this group called the Thieves Guild has arrived, and apparently they've been stealing a lot of stuff from superheroes. So Tony Stark has had all of his Iron Man suits stolen, Cap has his shield stolen, Thor has one of his pseudo Mjolnir hammers / axe stolen, and then Spidey gets his web shooters stolen. So basic premise, the majority of the book is good. Ramos is still not good on art. Like, his faces here, like, whoops, his faces are just weird. And also the only negative I would give is these 4 pages here introducing Miss Drake and the Thieves Guild. It's kind of dribble. It doesn't particularly... it feels kind of out of place. It's just... I know why it's there. It's to show that the Thieves Guild is not to be messed with, but you could take it out and it really wouldn't mess with the rest of the book. And it's just a whole lot of just random dribble. Trying to show it's like, oh, we're kind of actually good thieves, but we just let a whole mob of people just kill someone. But it's not necessary. It's just a lot of dialogue that doesn't particularly go anywhere. My only problem with this book, but overall, the rest of it was pretty solid. ASM has been solid so far. This is probably those 4 pages, like introducing the Thieves Guild and Miss Drake, were probably the only huge roadblocks so far, but we've had 7 good issues so far, so we'll just take it for what it is. So then we got Spider-Girls, which is a tie-in to Spider-Geddon, as such that it says you have to read issue number 2 before reading this. I know it's a tie-in, but still, I mean, I did pick up Spider-Geddon, and I know some people saying it actually is good. I've read Spider-Geddon. While it's not bad, it is good, but it's not necessary. Like, Spider-Verse really doesn't need a continuation. So with Spider-Girls, Annie Parker is suffering from apparently visions. She has a more enhanced version of Spidey sense, and it's beginning to mess with her, and it's messing with her ability to be a superhero as she blacks out and starts to fall, resulting in Peter and MJ having to save her. And at the same time, Mayday Parker and Anya Corazon, 2 other spiders, arrive in her universe because of the events of Spider-Geddon. That's why you have to read issue number 2. It kind of explains why they're there, and they're drawn to Annie, and they need her help. So basic start. Art, I love, or not really love. I like the cover. It's a pretty good cover. The interior art, not particularly the biggest fan on. It's okay. If it's better than Squirrel Girl, it's good art, but it's okay. But overall, it's a pretty meh. It's a pretty meh issue. I wouldn't really recommend it. While it's not bad, it just wasn't particularly interesting. If you do want to pick it up, it's only 3 issues, so who cares? So, but here onto the worst of the bunch. Spider-Gwen, Ghost Spider number 1, her 3rd relaunch, and now they're calling her Ghost Spider. I don't particularly care about the name. So I only mainly got this one because of the covers. I got this one, the Marvel Battle Lines one, and I got the Archam one, which is just, it's an Archam one. It's absolutely beautiful. So for this one, Gwen is out of jail and she's back to being Spider-Gwen again, saving the day until she's recruited for Spider-geddon. Ends up in a different Earth, fighting, which seems to be a version of Green Goblin, I assume. And it's basically the premise. My main gripe with it is that it's just boring. It's not interesting. I don't like almost this whole like Spider-Gwen just thinking to herself, all of that dialogue. I don't particularly care for it. Sometimes it gets slightly annoying, and there's also this part. So this is a kind of a prelude to Spider-Geddon, because in issue number 1 onwards, well, from issue number 1, Gwen is like one of the main people there to help recruit people to stop the Inheritors from coming back. And then in issue number 2, or the end of issue number 1, I think, or in issue number 2, she supposedly dies. But what really happened is that the watch she uses to cross the multiverse is stolen from her by one of the Inheritors. So it's just, but continuity is just weird. It's just like, okay, here is the prelude to Spider-Geddon, and then in the next page, here is the aftermath of number 2 of her actually shown to be alive. It's just weird. The continuity of it is just out of the place. And the thing is, unlike Spider-Girls, which tells you have to read number 2 before reading this one doesn't tell you anything. This one, nothing in this tells you that you have to read issue number 2. Because, yeah, that middle part where she gets recruited by Spider-Ham, and then the next page is after the events of issue number 2. It's slightly weird and jarring. It's just out of nowhere. Only in an editor's note does it say, see Spider-Geddon number 1 and 2. It doesn't particularly tell you you have to read it. I mean, you shouldn't have to read something else to read a comic, but still, that continuity is just... And it doesn't even say, like, in that Spider-Ham part, it doesn't say, like, down the bottom here, read Spider-Geddon number 1 to see what happens. And then here it says, see Spider-Geddon number 2 for why this happened or whatever. It's just, I don't know. Wasn't it particularly a good start? Not interesting. Probably not going to pick it up. Same with Spider-Girls. Spider-Girls was slightly better, but it wasn't interesting to me. Probably not going to pick it up. ASM, I liked it for the most part. That first part, introducing the Thieves Guild, was a bit... well, it wasn't particularly good, but it didn't overall, like, make this a terrible comic. So that's it for those 3. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time.
Spider-Man, does whatever a spider can. Spins a web any size, catches thieves just like flies. Look out, here comes the Spider-Man.